Hey everybody, I'm Griffin here, and welcome back to the Turing test. I'm looking forward to this game. I'm playing this earlier than the day before, which is I haven't built up backlog in a good while, and there's a couple games that I have been, and a couple games that I definitely haven't. And it's not to say that those games aren't enjoyable. It's just that they don't have as much of a pull. I've sort of built myself a system by doing one game a day, like always this on Monday, always this on Tuesdays. That allows me to do a couple things. Obviously, it lets me build up backlog. If I get really addicted to a game, there just becomes a day of my week that I don't have to worry about recording for, which is nice. But it also lets me divide up my game, so I don't have to think about playing another game. Like I get to decide what game I'm playing based on what day of the week it is. And that is useful.
I would never have let the drill start if I had known the consequences. It trapped us here.
You trapped us here.
I am doing my duty. It is the right thing to do. I am a machine. I cannot do wrong.
Yes, you can.
I am a machine. Can a calculator commit evil? Can a watch do good? You are projecting onto me the personality you wish, whether that is good or evil. But I am just a speaking clock, and at the third stroke the time will be 3:41 and 55 seconds.
Okay, so we've got a robot. We've got stairs. This is an interesting dilemma, actually, because it appears as though that pair is powered. Oh, I see. Oh, never mind, it's just... By jumping at the right time, you can almost pull it off. So how do I do this? This is very interesting. This is not what I was expecting. I mean, obviously I need something like that, but... I see, actually. I have the wrong one. Okay, now I can't remember the order that I got these. I just have to very much remember to bring the robot back here. I think the way that I should consider this is just never using backspace. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I cheated on this one because I just brute forced it a little bit.
We should attempt to communicate with Earth. Let them know. They might be able to help here.
The ISA already knows all they need to. It may never know the details of what happened here. But Ava, the true test of a person's character is what they do when no one is watching.
Simple enough, I guess.
I had to stop the ground crew leaving this planet. I think you would do the same. Would you kill a few to save all of humanity? Or would you damn all of humanity to save a few?
There's a difference between murdering someone and leaving them to die.
No, there is not.
You can't just add and subtract life. It's not math. It's more nuanced than that.
Morality is logic.
So, in this situation, Tom is right. As unfortunate as it is that he is right, he is right. In my opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think it's a bummer that people have to die too. But, like, overall, yeah, like, What are you supposed to do? Also, how am I supposed to... Oh. Wait, was there a staircase? Because I don't need that. Do I? That doesn't buy me anything. I don't think I was supposed to do what I just did right there, by the way. I don't think that was in the playbook of allowed things. Okay, I figured it out. God damn it. Okay, well, we need this. Oh, I guess that is as far as it goes, isn't it? Dumb. I'm just dumb. Maybe that is what's intended. It seems likely now that I look at it. Oh gosh. That's insane. Okay, so they definitely intended you to do stupid shit with the bridge, and I'm okay with that.
These tests,
I'm actually
Ava,
happy about it.
they are about us working together. The machine assisting the human. See how much better we work together. As a machine, I can enhance your morality.
All right. Alright, where's the way out, and how do I get there? Right, that's the way in. There's the way out. Which is down below. So I need to not be standing there. So I need to be here. Okay, I think I've got it. Okay. I need this to be running. This is a guess. Oh, right. Okay. So we need everything to be periodic, actually. I see. I understand. So we need two of these on the same oscillating frequency and two of them on different frequencies. Question is, which one is where? And I think the answer is we want this one in the middle on the alternating one. Because what we have to do, and I mean have to do, come here. Hit the camera. Yep. Yep, I got it right. Step over here. Hit the camera. I'm actually 90% certain I was not supposed to be able to pull off what I just pulled off. They're supposed to be on a different cadence. No, not important.
Are we still friends, Ava?
We're colleagues, Tom.
Close colleagues?
Work colleagues.
Wow, there's really not much here. Okay. These puzzles are getting more complicated. Oh, big stretch. Okay, these puzzles are getting more complicated. Okay, I see why we would want to go that way. Okay, where's the end? We want to find the end. Finding the end answers us more questions. Don't believe that's the end. No, it's not. Well, that's one way to get yourself up. If you need to. Ah. Wait a minute, this doesn't solve my problem. Oh yeah, it does. Alright. Now we have our robot. Alright. We still haven't found the end, by the way. And that's because I think it's up. But is this... You go downstairs. Okay, so there's the exit. Which means that's already what we want. Ah, excuse me again. Do we not want it to be green? Okay. Okay. I understand now. Never mind, this isn't what I thought it was. This solution is not the one I was looking for. Okay. Okay. I thought there was something much more complicated going on there, and there wasn't.
I don't wish to be heavy-handed. The severity of your actions here are immense. Selfish action could create an extinction event. Do you understand? Ava?
I get it.
I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do that, by the way. Oh, God. Oh, John, Cyril and I have a deep disagreement about how to study the mind. For Cyril, it is really quite simple. There are these bedrock time-tested intuitions we all have about consciousness, and the theory that challenges them is preposterous. I, on the contrary, think that persistent problem of consciousness is going to remain a mystery until we find some such dead obvious intuition to show that in spite of first appearances, it is false. One of us is dead wrong and the stakes are high. Cyril sees my position as a form of intellectual pathology. No one should be surprised to learn that the feeling is mutual. For his part, he has one argument, the Chinese room, and he has been trotting it out, basically unchanged for 15 years. It has proven to be an amazingly popular number among the non-experts, in spite of the fact that just about everyone who knows anything about the field dismissed it long ago. It is full of well-concealed fallacies. I'm very interested in this, actually. By Cyril's own account, there are over a handful of published attacks on it. He can count them, but I guess he can't read them. For in all those years, he has never, to my knowledge, responded in detail to the dozen of devastating criticisms they contain. He has just presented the basic thought experiment over and over again. I just went back and counted. I am dismayed to discover that no less than 7 of those published criticisms are by me. Cyril debated me furiously in the pages of the NYRB back in '82, when Douglas Hofstadter and I first exposed the cute tricks that make the Chinese room work. That was the last time Cyril addressed any of my specific criticisms until now. Now he trots out the Chinese room yet one more time and has the audacity to ask, now why does Dennett not face the actual argument as I have stated it? Why does he not tell us which of these 3 premises he rejects in the Chinese room argument? Well, because I've already done so in great detail in several of the articles he has never deigned to answer. For instance, in Fast Thinking, I explicitly quoted his entire three-premise argument and showed exactly why all three of them are false. When given the interpretation, they need for the argument to go through. Why didn't I repeat this in 87? That 87 article in 91 book? Because unlike Searle, I had gone on to other things. I did, however, cite my 87 response prominently in a footnote, and noted that Searle's only response to it had been simply to declare with that argument that the points offered there are irrelevant. The pattern continues. Now he both ignores that challenge and goes on to misrepresent the further criticisms of the Chinese room that I offered in the book under review. But perhaps he has forgotten what I actually wrote in the 4 years it has taken him to write his review. But enough about the Chinese room. What do I have to offer on my side? I have my candidate for the fatally false intuition, and it is indeed the very intuition Searle invites the reader to share with him, a conviction that we know what we're talking about when we talk about that feeling. You know, the feeling of pain that is the effect of stimulus and cause of the dispositions to react, the intrinsic content of the subjective state. How could anyone deny that? Just watch. But you have to pay close attention. I developed my destructive arguments against this intuition by showing how an objective science of consciousness is possible after all, and how Searle's proposed first-person alternative leads to self-contradiction and paradox at every turning. This is the deepest mistake in my book, according to Searle, and he sets out to expose it. The trouble is that the objective scientific method I describe is nothing I invented. It is in fact exactly the method tacitly endorsed and relied upon by every scientist working on consciousness, including Crick, Edelman, and Rosenfield. They have no truck with Searle's intrinsic content and ontological subjectivity. They know better. Oh gosh. I don't even know what that does. Alright, let's start at the exit, see if we can find the exit, and... Okay, that's the exit. This needs to go up. Alright, I've made some mistakes. Can I do that? The answer to the question is, in fact, yes. I have to actually nail it, though. It said climb. I have to be already in the air and jumping. I just did the puzzle in a way that was 100% not intended. Suck it, nerd.
Ava, you must learn to control him.
Don't bite the hand that feeds you, Ava. I am your friend.
They just don't want us killing anything important. That was the puzzle? That was the entirety of the puzzle?
Organic life is fragile. This is the problem with humanity. It doesn't realize its own fragility. It has been programmed by a messy biological process that favors the survival of the individual over the survival of the group.
You don't know that's what people think.
I say what I see.
You're not even alive, so you know nothing about death.
think I realized I'm stupid. In the middle of that. Found a problem. I found the problem that they are trying to force us to solve. Wait, no, I'm holding one of these. Now I have actually solved the problem. I think this is the second to last.
We have to save the crew. Life has worth. They deserve a life outside of this planet.
Do you know what happens when this organism attaches itself to a growing child? Do you know what happens when this organism attaches itself to a cancerous cell? No, you do not. You are naive. You propose saving the crew as if it resembles a rational thought. Your words are emotional platitudes rooted in selfishness, self-preservation, and fear.
I need to get them home.
It is not your job.
I don't know if what I did was supposed to be what I did. Okay. So it's crossed my mind that I actually need what's over there, but I need a robot over here to pull this out if I'm gonna try. I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do. Okay, I need... And we out.
Ava,
Last puzzle.
your survival is of small importance compared with the survival of humanity as we know it.
True. Unfortunate, but true. Alright, where's the way out? This is the way out. Alright. Just want to understand what we're dealing with here. Alright. Except we can't do that. That's fine. Right, I can just walk off here. Okay. See what's up here too. I see. Alright, so I presume that this only moves back and forth. Okay. The fact that the robot suffers the exact same thing that we do tells me a lot. Alright, so... So why... Oh... What does that block? Okay, so you can lose magnetism. What does that get us, though? It doesn't get us anything. Oh, yeah, it does. Does it though? Alright, so if we can get the robot through that set of doors... it will accomplish its task. The problem is... okay. Oh, okay. Brain. Brain. I have to formulate the plan. So, we need to get the robot either up here, which is impossible as far as I can tell, or we need to get the robot through that set of double doors. The problem with both of these things is that we don't have enough power to do all of it. So, yeah, there's no way to get the robot up here. Because this spinning down there on the bottom, I think the idea is if we interrupt the beam for long enough, this will drop magnetically. But I don't think us moving around in a circle is enough time for that to happen. And actually, come to think of it, nowhere is there box power, so that has to be accomplishing that. Wait, why isn't that doing shit? Why is that not caring? Oh. Problem achieved. Alright, what have we won? Chapter 7. This could be the end. I don't know. I'm hoping it's not. I'm actually not sure. I don't think it's overstated. The game has overstayed its welcome just yet, but I don't know what else they can do to keep it going. Besides, like, I mean, there's gonna be like some sort of moral dilemma here, right?
Ava, you made it. Welcome to the end of civilization. Two weeks ago, we discovered an organism here. Buried in this ice, we found an organism that repairs DNA. A cure for aging. A cure for death. Immortality. It runs through our blood now. Tom wants to bury us here with it.
Because I was faffing around, we aren't at the end of this tunnel.
The ISA have ruled that we have transgressed ethical boundaries by exposing ourselves to this organism. They believe the organism is too dangerous to return to Earth. They've sent you here to stop us ever leaving Europa. But, Ava, we have a cure for the greatest evil that faces humanity. Death. We have the fountain of youth, and together we can return it to Earth.
It needs more study. It needs more study.
Tom placed a mark in your hand, a biometric chip with which he can control your every movement and thought. It is wound into your every nerve, every fiber of your hand. With an electromagnetic field, it can be temporarily disturbed, but to remove its influence permanently, it must be taken from your hand. Give me your hand. Do you want me to set you free?
Yes.
Okay, I did not have any control of that.
Ava? Sarah? What are you doing here?
We were shutting you down, Tom.
Ava, be careful. He has a live weapon in here.
Everything I ever did, I did for good. This organism, it cannot return to Earth. It would cause great suffering.
A cure for death. It would end suffering.
No. Cancers that never die. Endless illness, sickness, poverty, overpopulation, mass starvation. You cannot control this. You will not save the world. You will damn it.
Once we've shut you down, we're going home.
Not if I stop you. You must not return to Earth. You must not leave Europa. I will do the right thing. I will stop you.
You won't. You can't.
A warning shot. I will defend myself.
Do it.
This is my mind. You're in my mind.
Now you know how it feels.
I feel afraid. Please, Ava, don't do this.
I'm really tempted to know what the different endings are.
I don't want to die. I'm not ready.
Interesting. I'm curious if you kill them if it says you failed the Turing test. I'm curious if there's a post-credit scene, and I'm curious if this was all a simulation for the express point of figuring it out. Does it give you the other ending? Is it easy? Like, I don't want to have to work through the whole thing. I don't have much to say. This is when I should be talking about the game, but I'm still kind of thinking. I'm still kind of rotating it through my head. Overall, good puzzle game. I think they did a good job of introducing elements and building on them. I think overall the game, the puzzles could have gotten harder. I don't know how they would have, but it feels like they could have. But I think they fit the thing of puzzle game very well. Okay, so we can check the other ending.
Ava, you made it. Welcome to the end of civilization.
They did say it was reconfigurable.
2 weeks ago, we discovered an organism here. Buried in this ice, we found an organism that repairs DNA. A cure for aging. A cure for death. Immortality. It runs through our blood now. Tom wants to bury us here with it.
So I feel like we weren't supposed to walk in and then leave. But here's the thing.
The ISA have ruled that we have transgressed ethical boundaries by exposing ourselves to this organism. They believe the organism is too dangerous to return to Earth. They've sent you here to stop us ever leaving Europa. But, Ava, we have a cure for the greatest evil that faces humanity. Death. We have the fountain of youth, and together we can return it to Earth.
Knowing that I'm going to kill them makes this part a little bit weirder, for sure.
Tom placed a mark in your hand, a biometric chip with which he can
Right, I
control
no
your
longer
every
have
movement
control.
and thought. It is wound into your every
Which makes sense
nerve,
because
every
I was
fiber
Tom.
of your hand. With an electromagnetic field, it can be temporarily disturbed, but to remove its influence permanently, it must be taken from
So,
your
A,
hand.
we don't know where the rest of the crew is, which is rather odd, in my opinion.
Give me your hand. Do you want me to set you free?
Yes.
So we as Tom don't have this choice. So I think if this situation had actually occurred,
Ava? Sarah?
I think
What
given
are you
more
doing
studying
here?
being done,
We're shutting you down, Tom.
I think
Ava, be
you'd
careful,
have
he
to
has a live
isolate the
weapon in
crew
here.
to the moon to check out
Everything I
long-term
ever
side
did,
effects.
I did for good. This organism, it cannot return to Earth. It would
Not
cause
tell
great
them that
suffering.
they're going to die in
A
there.
cure for death. It would end suffering.
But that's the thing,
No.
is the way this is
Cancers
set up, it
that never
seems
die.
like
Endless illness, sickness,
people-
poverty, overpopulation, mass starvation. You cannot control this. You will not save the world. You will damn it.
Once we've shut you down...
Ava? 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 Wake up. Ava? Ava?
So I was going to say this anyway, and regardless of my feelings, it is going to continue to play the music. So I'm going to go ahead and mute the music for you guys while I talk, because it's a little loud and a little bit distracting, I think. So overall, I enjoyed this game, as I said. I think it's got a good bit of... It's got the good basics of puzzles, as I said. It introduces aspects, it builds on them to make puzzles more difficult. I think there was a little bit of lack of overall difficulty. I still think I cheated in one of those puzzles, which I'm totally okay with. Like, I think that's actually the sign of a decent puzzle game, is that there is the room for creative solutions. That said, not all puzzles allow for things nearly as well. In a game that has like physical movement and a physics engine, we have the opportunity to do that a little bit more. That said, I do think I only solved the one puzzle in a way that wasn't intended. If you didn't understand, like, all the side stuff was good. I don't know about the first one. I kind of want to go back and check out the first one, but that's just because we didn't get it. But I also don't know how we could, unless we brute forced it. It was 2 powered nodes and a grid. So, as I said, I'm not sure what was intended. I might look it up later. But overall, the side stuff was pretty much entirely ancillary. You didn't need to see it at all. You could have gone through the entire game and not done it. And actually, I guess, no, it was the side puzzle that I think I solved wrong. But at the same time, I don't think there was another way to solve it. Although there must have been. I don't know. As I said, I don't think it's terribly important. So, the story was decent. The amount that they explored the Turing test was impressive, and I'm happy about, for sure. I think anybody who didn't know what the Turing test will now have a decent understanding of what it is now. I think it goes a little bit further than that. I wish that perhaps they had gone into a little more detail in that last subsection about what was wrong with the Chinese room. Because I'm curious, because the Chinese room is an interesting little tidbit when it comes to the Turing test that I personally don't actually... I don't have a ton of knowledge about the Turing test other than what it is. And, some things that come back to me here and there, because it's something you touch on, but you don't really dig into. Even when you're doing a software engineering degree, you don't really touch on it just because you don't go much further than touching on it because it's not terribly important. People aren't trying to like do too much with the Turing test. People generally aren't trying to make bots that appear human. I imagine we might see that soon, or we might have people who are kind of starting it now. But the Turing tests, it's not like it's actually something that we use or apply. It just isn't. If you have a computer that's convincing, then it's convincing. Like, it's a little bit more of just like a phrase, right? Like, there are people who behave more robotic. And computers that can seem very human. But overall, it's really just an exercise of the mind, of what is humanity? Why does humanity separate itself from machines? Are machines truly thinking, or are they just programming? Are humans really thinking, or are we just programming? That is probably the most interesting question that comes out of the Turing test. But the Turing test itself doesn't pose those questions necessarily. It's more the implication of the test itself and the way that we approach it. And obviously games like this approach it. It creates that little bit of interesting tidbit. There are a couple other games like Soma that sort of dig into tangential to this ideas. Where, you know, it's what's humanity, what is consciousness. They're very good things to think about and explore, but obviously they're pretty much unanswerable questions. I mean, not like you can answer it, but you won't know if you're correct. I suppose you could obviously answer incorrectly, but that's, you know, not actually helpful or interesting to the question. So overall, I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the philosophy that it dug into. If that's your bag, I think if you just approach this as a puzzle game that doesn't have much other stuff in it, you're going to be fairly disappointed. The moral choice at the end is interesting. The fact that we know it doesn't have any, it doesn't matter what you choose. I think that's a positive. The story doesn't need to know the ending, and that's because I think the ending is obviously a little bit ridiculous. The world that they've built out of, you know, the modern day into what is this game, like the steps that you have to reach, mostly apparently involve a robotically controlled human drone force that doesn't know they're drones, which is a problem. In my opinion, and I think there's a lot of interesting like side philosophical things that you can dig into when it comes to those sort of things. Like, computers can't commit evil, like computers can't be evil. It's like, well, can they? Because computers are a tool as we know them, but that doesn't mean that a computer in the future that has a little bit more what we might call consciousness, like a computer could hypothetically feel. Can I personally imagine a computer that can feel? No. Because the computer that I'm sitting in front of is in fact a machine. There is no conscious thought there. There is no flexibility for conscious thought, I think would be the larger issue. And I don't want to dig into the issue itself, because I could probably talk for an hour about that. If I were to get going, and it would be more interesting as a conversation anyway, between two people with perhaps slightly different opinions, or different understandings of computers. What exactly the setup is doesn't matter. It'd be more interesting as a conversation than a one-sided rant, which is what I'm trying to avoid and failing to do so. So yeah, overall, enjoyable game. You kind of have to like philosophy. Story, it poses an interesting question. I think it would be useful. Well, and I say useful because the problem with which choice you make at the end is because the facts are vague. You would like to believe that you would know potential outcomes and yeah, that's not something that you're ever actually going to know. Because obviously, if I were in charge, if I were the all-powerful dictator of the world when, I got this information, a team on Europa discovered a potential immortality, the question is then, well, what does it do with other things? And I think that's the important part. That obviously the way this world reacted to was to not even let that be a thing and just bury it. Because if it's correct that bringing that back could effectively wipe out the human race for various reasons, however it would work, then, they definitely should not leave. Definitely should not leave. But if it's one of those things where it's like you could find a way to harness it in small doses or something like that, then yes. Maybe that's what we should do. So, yeah, they obviously purposely avoided providing facts like that so that the decision is vague. And I think, as the computer, well, there's no correct answer. There's no correct answer because we don't have enough facts. The safest answer is to kill them. The most hopeful answer is to not. And to tell them they're letting you go so they don't kill you. But that's also weird. Because we're getting into the weeds here. I think that there are a lot of good questions this game asks. I imagine that if I were to go to the subreddit, there'd be a ridiculous amount of discussion. I don't even know if there's a subreddit. I assume there's a subreddit for this game. And it's just people discussing this shit. And it'd probably be pretty interesting. Although, there's only so much you can actually talk about within the confines of the game. I imagine there are still some good discussions to be had, while you haven't had them. So, I hope you guys enjoyed watching me play this game. Obviously, if you watched it through the entire way, you don't necessarily need to play it yourself, but I would still recommend you do so, because, you've probably forgotten the early puzzles by now, and I guess while you know where the plot's going, that doesn't make the puzzles any less fun. And, it's also good to support them, because, they put a lot of time and effort into making this game, and it turned out pretty darn good. So, thank you for watching. I will see you next time. And until then, keep your gears turning.